Hi guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster and I thought I would do another video in my series on modding an axe. And today I want to start actually on the axe head. This is the bit I've kind of been putting off for a little while. This is either going to work really well or it's going to go completely wrong. And because I've not tried it before, this is all sort of really new ground for me. Now what I've done off camera, I've made the first cut here on this side just here. The reason I did that off camera is I basically just wanted to see whether or not the tools I had at my disposal were going to work. Took me about 40 minutes with this hacksaw. Unfortunately, I used the hacksaw blade that was already on it that I've used in the past. Didn't realise that about half the teeth were blunt, and when I tried to swap over to a newer blade, the newer one was ever so slightly thicker, so wouldn't fit in the cut I'd already put in. So I just basically spent a little while using sort of the front 3 inches worth of teeth just to get this done. Now I've changed blades and I've made a very sort of brief cut at the top here just to start coming in from the other direction, and that's what I'll show you on camera in a second. And then once we've done this, I then want to move over to some files. So I've left plenty of material on here so that I can sort of try and file some curves in there, get it looking how I like. One of the things I did want to show you, hopefully you can see just as all the front end of the eye here, there's what looks like a little bit of a split. Now looking at this, and I mean I'm no expert, but it does look like this is where the material was joined during the forging process. I've deliberately cut higher than that mark. Don't know whether there's going to be any kind of problem later on. I don't know if sort of continued use of this axe will cause that split to widen and then become a problem, but to be honest, I'm just going to play it by ear. It's going to be sort of backup carver for me. It's something that I'm going to use sort of here in the workshop, so I'm just going to see how it goes basically. But what I'll do, guys, let me move the camera a little bit closer in. I'll give you a sort of couple of minutes of just me using this hacksaw. Not the most interesting thing in the world, I know, but just to sort of show you the speed at which this saw is sort of cutting through this material, and then we'll move over to some filing. Okay, so I've got this set up on just a little vise that I had hanging around. I've actually screwed this into the top of my carving stump just to give it something nice and secure to hold it. As you know, I haven't got a proper carpenter's vise or anything like that, so this is kind of my makeshift version. And really, I'm not going to bore you with this too much, guys, but I just wanted to give you a quick demonstration of sort of how quickly, this is just a standard hacksaw blade. It's 24 teeth per inch. Useful for kind of most metals, and I'm just going to sort of do a very sort of quick real-time, maybe minute or so, just to show you how quickly this cuts through. And the one problem with this little vise, guys, is it does loosen up with vibration, so you do have to tighten it now and again. And the other thing to remember here, guys, and one of the benefits of doing this with hand tools as opposed to using say an electrical grinder or something like that, is that this will heat up. Now using hand tools, you're not likely to get it too hot that you're going to ruin the temper, but what I do tend to do is just give it sort of like a 30-second rest now and again, just to let it sort of cool off. I mean, if I feel the hacksaw blade, which I can now, if I can hold it in my hand without burning myself, it's not too hot. If it gets too hot to the touch, I'll just give it a minute or so just to cool off. So again, quite hot, still not too hot to the touch, but you do get a kind of a smell when you're cutting metal like this, a kind of a, difficult to describe, but kind of a hot smell. So whenever I can smell that, I'll always just double check it. Right, so that's getting quite warm now, guys, so I'm just going to give that a minute or so to cool down. I won't bore you with the rest of this. I'll come back when we've cut this section off, and we'll move on to a little bit of filing. Right, so there we go, guys. That is the first set of cuts gone in, so it's a nice sort of wedge shape taken out, and I've deliberately left, as I say, quite a lot of material up here and a little bit up here, because what I'm now going to use is a couple of files just to try and round this off. I'm going to need to go quite high up here in order to do that, but I'd rather do that with a file and sort of avoid this little split area here if I can. I mean, I will round that off a little bit as well. And what I'm going to do for that is I've got two files here. One is sort of a big engineer's file. This one will take off a lot of material quite quickly. And then I've got a slightly smaller file here, a little bit sort of lighter, less coarse, just for sort of tidying up later on. Now again, I'm not going to sort of bore you with all of this, because this is going to take a considerable amount of time, especially doing it by hand, but I'll give you just sort of a quick demo of this, and I'll come back once we've made at least a little bit of progress. What I'm trying to do here, guys, is to sort of use the sort of the round section of this half round file just to put a bit of an indentation down here. I'll then do the same up the top just here, and then hopefully I can get those two curves to sort of meet in the middle and take this sort of corner and round it out into more of a curve. Okay guys, so there we go. I've now got the curve in the place of the sort of the corner that we cut in before with the hacksaw, and really all that's left to do now is just to tidy up this edge down here, bring this curve round so that we've got a sort of a nice sweeping curve here from sort of the base of the head, base of the eye should I say, coming up this way, so we'll lose this kind of quite sharp angle as well there. I may smooth down the top a little bit as well. One thing I did do off camera while I was doing this, because it was taking such a long time with the file, was I actually cut down this section a little bit more. Now as you can see the crack that I was talking about earlier, much more pronounced here. Now obviously some of that will be taken away when I grind off the rest with the file. I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem or not at any point. But you know, as I said earlier, time will tell, and it's, you know, it's a risk I'm willing to take at the moment for such a cheap axe head. So I'm just going to carry on just tidying this up a little bit, and I will bring you guys back once I've made a bit more progress. Right then guys, so we're just about done. I'll be honest, it's taken me about the best part of a day to finish this. My hands really aren't working. Sorry about the noise in the background if that's picking up. There's someone doing some wood chipping just around the corner. And what I've done, I've literally just popped the old axe handle back on, just so you can see what it's going to look like kind of when we finish. And this is it. This is the finished article. Now what I've done, as I said, I've put a nice pronounced curve in here. I've put sort of almost like a little bit of a choll in here, so that when I'm holding the axe, literally I can get my finger right in there, choke up really deep. But I must be honest guys, I'm really pleased with this. I wasn't quite sure how it was going to turn out. So I've got a nice little curve at the top here just to give it a bit of decoration. I wasn't keen on the sort of the flare at the top, so I just took it down a little bit. And again, you've got kind of, you know, essentially turn it into a bearded axe, which is what I wanted really. Now all that's left to do with this now, I need to decide how and if I'm going to finish it. Obviously there's quite a dark patina on here already just through years of age. What I may do is actually allow this newly exposed metal on the top and under here just to form its own patina. Alternatively, I may, and I'm not 100% sure about this, I may actually sort of sand back or sort of scrub back to bare metal everywhere, and then maybe give it a gun blue finish. But to be honest, I actually quite like the look of this, so I'm just going to see how it goes. And also I do need to sharpen the blade as well. So that's probably going to be the next step for this, is sharpening this blade. But all in all, I'm really pleased with it. So again, if you've got any comments, any questions about this, by all means let me know down below. Hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I hope you'll all join me next time. Thanks guys.